Welcome once more to our revision session. Today we're doing a very important topic. That's a GNC topic called urine formation. Okay, so by the end of the video, you must be able to draw a well-labeled diagram of the kidney and the nephron. You should be able to state the functions of the kidney. You should be able to explain the process of urine formation. Okay, so principles when drawing a diagram. Principle number one, your diagram should be in a pencil. Labels should be on one side. Avoid using arrowheads. Okay, so when we say arrowheads, we mean something that looks like this. Okay, so avoid using such. Okay, yeah. So your diagram should be in a frame. After I've drawn a diagram, put it in a beautiful frame. Okay, so your diagram should have an underlined heading. Okay, yeah. So this is the structure of the kidney. Okay, so this is the kidney. So the kidney has got parts like the medulla or the pyramid. So when we say the medulla or the pyramid, we have some things just right here. Okay, these two things that we see here, these are the medullas. Okay, yeah, so those are the medullas that we have. Okay, yeah, or the pyramids. Okay, so and then under right there, just right here. Okay, so just right here we have got our papilla of medulla, the papilla of medulla, and then the other side there we've got the major cilius, we've got the capsule, which is the outermost layer. Okay, and then the other side we've got the cortex, which is the second layer. Okay, the second layer. Okay, and then we've got the minor cilius, we have the renal artery, we have the renal vein, we have the renal pelvis, and we have the ureter. So this is the structure and the labels of the kidney. So this is a cross section of the kidney. Okay, yeah. So here we have got the functional unit of the kidney, which is called a nephron. Okay, so a nephron itself has got some parts also which you need to know by heart towards your GNC. Okay, so we have got this red blood vessel that is passing right here. Okay, so this red blood vessel, we call it the renal. Okay, so we call it the renal artery. Okay, so in the renal artery, it goes down and branches to this channel of capillary, okay, through a blood vessel which we call the afferent artery. Okay, or the afferent arterial. Okay, so in the afferent artery, it will come down and branch down through this channel of capillaries, forming the glomerulus capsule. So from the glomerulus capsule, it branches to another smaller capillary which we call the efferent artery. Okay, and then just down there I've got the yellow thing just there, which we call the Bowman's capsule. Okay, so from the Bowman's capsule, it moves there to the proximal convoluted tubes. There down it goes to the medullary loop or the loop of Henle, and then it continues there to the distal convoluted tubes, and from the distal convoluted tubes it connects to the collecting duct. Okay, yeah. So from the efferent artery, we can see that they're connecting to a channel of venous circulation. Okay, so from there it connects. So these connections that we see just in between the medullary loop, this channel of capillaries that we see, they're for a purpose. Okay, they help in reabsorption of nutrients back into the general circulation. Okay, yeah, and we see a blue blood vessel there, which is the renal vein. Okay, yeah. So we look into the functions of the kidney. So the first function that we have, we've got urine formation. Okay, so the kidney plays a very important role in the process of urine formation. Okay, because that's a primary function of the kidney in this case. Okay, so in the process of urine formation, there's excretion of waste substances, there's reabsorption of needed substances back into the body, and there's also selective filtration that happens in this process. Okay, so it helps in that process. Okay, yeah. It helps in excretion. Okay, so let's say substances like urea, creatinine, sodium, hydrogen oxide, that is water. Okay, excess fluids in the body, it helps in excreting unwanted substances from the body, okay, through urine. Okay, yeah. So for blood production, the kidney itself produces a specific hormone called erythropoietin. Okay, so this hormone helps in the production of blood, okay, in the production of blood cells. Okay, so erythropoietin goes to the site of erythropoiesis, okay, which are the bone, the liver, and also the spleen at times. Okay, so it goes and stimulate the production of blood, okay, and influences the production of blood. Okay, yeah. um fluid and electrolyte balance. So let's say in a case where I've got less fluids in the body, the kidney will not release a hormone called antidiuretic hormone. Okay, so okay let's say it will release a hormone called antidiuretic hormone. Okay, in a case where I've got less, it will release a hormone called antidiuretic hormone. So that hormone will come and act upon the medullary loop. Upon acting upon the medullary loop, this will help reabsorption of needed substances back into the body, more especially fluids. Okay, yeah. In a case where I've got excess fluids, in the body, so antidiuretic hormone won't be released. Okay, so the flow at which urine will be passing through the loop, the convoluted tubes, will be increased, thereby promoting diuresis and balancing the fluids in the body. Okay, and then number 5, I've got control of body temperature. So when we talk about control of body temperature, in a case where somebody has got a raised body temperature, okay, as somebody is urinating or excreting urine, okay, as somebody is excreting urine, uh, heat is also lost through urine. Okay, because urine by nature, when you just have a feel of it, it's hot in nature. Okay, it's kind of its temperature is kind of a little bit warm. Okay, so in a case where somebody has got increased body temperature, it will control temperature by losing heat through urination. Okay, yeah. So let's look into a very important meal in this course. Okay, yeah. So which is the process of urine formation. So what is this process? So the process of urine formation, this is a process by which urine is formed by the renal system, or the renal organ. Okay, so it consists of three phases. So I've got the first phase, which is called filtration. Okay, so this is the first stage in urine formation. In this stage, it occurs on the glomerulus and the glomeruli capsule. Okay, so during this phase, let me just go back to the diagram so that we see what we're talking about. Okay, so in this stage, as we can see, we have got our renal vein just right there, our renal artery. So let's say blood from the heart coming at a higher pressure, it goes through the aorta. From the aorta, it will branch into the branches of the aorta. So in the branches of the aorta, blood will be carried. Okay, so blood will be carried together with waste. It will come through. The afferent artery. From the afferent artery, it will reach the glomerulus capsule. Upon reaching the glomerulus capsule, so the Bowman's capsule and the glomerulus capsule are made in such a way that they're semi-permeable. Okay, they've got a semi-permeable membrane. Okay, so it will allow some substances to pass through and go into the Bowman's capsule, and some larger particles such as glucose, proteins, blood cells, okay, and medicine will remain into the general circulation, okay, which will be carried and they'll go down into the efferent artery. Okay, will go into the efferent artery. Okay, yeah. And then those things that will remain, those things that will remain into the yellow like cap that we see there, which we also call the Bowman's capsule. Okay, which we also call the Bowman's capsule, the filtrate. Things like hydrogen, things like potassium, things like urea. Okay, so ions, those ions will pass through. Okay, yeah. So that pace that the rate at which things are being filtered through the glomerular capsule is what we call glomerular filtration rate, glomerulus filtration rate. Okay, yeah. Okay, so upon so that's the first function, that's the first phase that we have in the process of urine formation. Okay, yeah. So let's say after this has happened, so we'll remain with some substances which will remain into the Bowman's capsule. Okay, so upon reaching the Bowman's capsule, things will start the substances will start moving downwards. Okay, so as they reach into the proximal convoluted tubes, as they reach into the proximal convoluted tubes, there will be a release of a hormone called antidiuretic hormone. Okay, so antidiuretic hormone will come and act upon the loop of Henle. Okay, will come and act upon the loop of Henle, which will slow down the pace at which urine is flowing. Okay, so as it is being slowed, this will increase the pace of reabsorption. Okay, this will increase the pace of reabsorption. Okay, so in upon let's say for example substances like water is tuned in the body. Okay, substances like sodium is tuned, potassium is tuned, calcium is tuned. Those substances will seep through and they'll go through this channel of capillaries that we see just upon the medullary loop. Okay, and they'll go back into the general circulation through the branch of the renal vein. Okay, so after everything passes through in this space, okay, so the after substances have, let's say needed substances have gone back to the body, so what will remain now is pure waste. Okay, pure waste, which we call urine. Okay, so the urine now will move upwards. Okay, will move upwards towards the distal convoluted tubes, upon reaching the distal convoluted tubes, it will empty its content into the collecting duct, which will go to another process called excretion. So for excretion or secretion. So for secretion, this is the last stage in urine formation. Okay, it is the last stage in urine formation. So this occurs between the collecting duct, the renal pelvis, the ureters, the urinary bladder, and the urethra. Okay, and the urethra. Okay, yeah. So let's explain. So upon urine being collected into the collecting duct, urine is will be emptied. Urine will be emptied into this part. We have just said the black thing just right there. Okay, will be emptied into this part which we call the renal pelvis. Okay, so from the renal pelvis, urine will flow down through the ureters. The ureters will empty the urine into the urinary bladder. In the urinary bladder, urine will be partially stored. Okay, will be partially stored. Upon the bladder being full, the sphincter muscles will relax, hence releasing urine into the urethras for excretion. Okay, so that's the process of urine formation in general. Okay, yeah, so that's the process of urine formation in general. Okay, so thank you very much and stay blessed.